Hi, hello, welcome back. Just another Manic Monday. Wish it was Sunday. Oh, hello there, I didn't see you there. This is next week's read, okay? Super dramatic, for no reason. This week, have you ever heard about Investigation Inc? Probably not, because it's the true crime magazine that never was. It was my student true crime magazine. Me and a couple of other people have done it at uni, so in the second year we had a magazine project. Your girl here stood up to pitch an idea, and I pitched it pretty well, because I just make it sound funny when I present things, as you know, and I was like in this see-through dress and I never wear bras, as you very well know. Stop looking. And yeah, then they were like, yeah, you'll be the editor. And I was like, what does that mean? Yeah, I studied journalism. Lols. But in the end, it ended up being the easiest job, so yes, I was the editor. So obviously, before I can comment on someone else's work and before I can actually tell you some true crime stories from there, well, I need to comment on my own. So otherwise it just wouldn't be fair. So I'm just gonna go through the outline of this thing. Wait, it's in my pocket. I'm just gonna go through the outline of the magazine for you. I'm not gonna comment on other people's work. I still love what we have done. I'm just gonna comment on my own because, again, it's not my place to comment on other people's work. So, the True Crime magazine that never was, Investigation Inc. Yeah, I'm not properly awake yet. Basically, I've studied journalism as BA between 2012 and 2015. So this was done in 2013, okay? Just so you're not like, oh my god, this is not up to today's standards or some shit. Which I really love the work. Okay, speaking of, hey, here's the cover. It's called Investigation Inc. The cover is probably my least favorite thing out of this whole thing. Still love it, but I just didn't think like we clicked with the cover. Again, I have no eye for design, so I approved anything that was sent to me. I was such a chill editor. As long as you sent one, it's like, yeah, good, bye. Then, I love how there's an ad of Converse. They made us basically make it as realistic as possible. So like, yeah, just like, pretend like we will have ads in the thing. So yeah, Converse would definitely sponsor True Crime magazine. Editor's letter, okay, let's skip this for now. We're gonna go backwards and read my own work, well, some way. Because I actually kept it. I didn't read this editor's letter now since 2013, so we're gonna cringe together. This was the whole point of this. Truly love the contents page. This is probably one of my favorite parts of the whole magazine. I just love this. So as you see, we had miscellaneous, because why not? Because it's like we couldn't name it anything differently. It's like crime time. No. Nothing to do with crime. Then we have serial killers, because like Jack the Ripper needs to happen. We have section on hate crimes, kids who kill, foreign crimes, criminal justice, and then reviews, because that was the easiest fucking thing and the lightest thing to do. Okay, the investigators thing, I'm not gonna put people's faces here, so I don't get sued and they're like, hi Maja, what the fuck are you doing? Then, okay, cool, the insurance, you can get why an insurance set can be here, right? I love the crime board because this is like a collab between two people on the team, and they were just like, yeah, like this should be cool, and no other true crime magazine does it. It's like what crime happened this year that have like made the news or like super bizarre in different areas. So yeah, this was supposed to be a spread. Then obviously something everybody would read is a case on infamy. You know, O.J. Simpson, Oscar Pistorius. What happens when the hero becomes the antagonist of the story? Oh my god, look at the camera at the time. These ads are big ass throwback. Look at that small ass lens. Oh, love it. It's so cute. Then we're gonna go through my own work. Who is really Jack the... I had no sense of how to dramatize the titles. It's like, I want to do a profile of a serial killer. Let's do it. We'll go back to this nonsense. I had 3 pages. Like, one of the pages is just him walking into this. I regret my decisions. I regret this. I really love this page, profile of a serial killer, with like, you know, those letters and then just, you know, the serial killers in the middle. And then she took just their childhoods and like compared a couple of serial killers. So like, top dog, top work. Then we had, you know, a bit of a lighter, it's just like not just murder, so there was Travelers Not Welcome. So they went into a deep dive on the hate and discrimination against JCs. Basically, from what I remember and from what I'm reading, like we had to do 3 pieces, 2 like longer ones. So basically one longest one, so as you can see, like 3-page spread kind of thing. Then one of like 1 page, and then one of them should have been just like a review of something, right? Cool. This would be an actually really good concept to like do for the channel. That's Claire's Law. I haven't heard, I mean, I've obviously heard when I read this, right? I've read every single one. But then since then, I never thought about Claire's Law. And I was like, it would be cool for, you know, like, if this was an actual magazine, for somebody to now break it down and be like, this is the influence this law has had. Then CSI New York, of course, our magazine is going to get sponsored by all these cool shows. CSI New York. I love how we didn't pick like real CSI, like, maybe we should go with some niche things. So we are in London, love it. Not like Luther or anything, no. Guns N' Roses, I love this. You know what, like a podcast called Lights Out, they don't need my promotion, it's more like I need theirs because they're like mile higher productions. But they do really great stuff on like massacres. The minds of these people is just so bizarre, but I just love this page of just the victims and just like black and white. Yeah, this part was like the peak of our design. Then there's Maja's work again. Mary Bell. I was like, why is she killed? She was like a child and now she's free. What the hell? But I was like, was it nature and nurture? Let's explore this. And then it's just the weakest article. You'll see later. But I just love how, even for the podcast, I'm like, here are their quotes. I just love to pick their brain. Here are their fucked up quotes. Then it goes like the most serious article. Slavery is still alive and kicking. First of all, love this title, love the headline. And then, well, she really did a deep dive into human trafficking. But basically, I love the difference of this girl who like worked on this article was already super into true crime. And me, at the time, I wasn't as immersed, you know, I didn't have podcasts, I didn't do research every week, podcasts weren't a thing, so I wasn't listening to like 100 podcasts on true crime. So I was just like, yeah, Criminal Minds, you know, all these true crime shows, investigation, discovery, and then there are people that were like deep into this, even at the age of like 20. I was like, oh. I was like, Jack the Reaper, and they're like, yeah, that's just like basic shit. That's day one true crime. We had the alarm, security call, yeah, I was like, when is this when they come? Maybe it should have been the first ad. But yeah, I wouldn't do many things differently, to be honest, from this magazine. I would have probably covered different cases, just because I've done like pretty basic ones, and maybe like, you know, a couple of ads don't make sense, but pretty much I'm still very proud of this work. Okay, then this is supposed to be a spread again. Are Indian women still oppressed? And if it does look different to like anything else, it's because we couldn't communicate with this person, okay? I mean, it's sad to say, but like, we couldn't communicate with this guy. And it's all my fault, of course, like I should have been the editor chasing people, but like he just wouldn't send work in time, and then I would just be like, hey, somebody else go talk to me. Top-notch editor, top-notch. Then talk, phone and broadband. Again, super logical ad. Ooh, I love this shit. Because obviously there's other people that are into procedurals. This isn't CSI. And she did a deep dive into like portrayals that we see on TV actually affect how we think about investigation. Pretty much yes, but to what degree? If you ever want a sneak peek into CSI, watch The Plot on Miniature Killer. I think there's a couple of episodes. That was so well done that it still blows my mind. If I ever return to like CSI, that's the thing. Because like the chemistry on that show and between the team members just wasn't it. But the Miniature Killer plot is mind-blowing still to this day. Then you just know the change of tones. It's like me doing just like random ass serial killers, then reviewing Criminal Minds, and then there's this person that is so deeply into true crime that everything they do is like 10 times more serious than everybody else. Still, respect. So there's this article on introducing the death penalty and would bringing it back actually deter criminals from committing crime, or, you know, would they just still do it? I kind of do a whole ass thing on last meals and death penalty, so you know my opinion on it. I'm not pro it. In any case, I'm not pro the whole either solitary confinement. But you know, what do I know? Maybe people should just be left to rot in prison because it's kind of the worst place on earth. There's a PS4 ad. I just love this so much. Just love our choice of ad. Because we had to have a certain amount, so we were like, what the hell is gonna be an ad in a true crime magazine? Then there are reviews on certain movies, on the books, on NCIS, on different series. It's like, hey, light ones, you know, true crime ones, Criminal Minds, which I've done. And then, yeah, the book Talking with Serial Killers. And then we have some final ads, which is internet security, okay, smart. Grand Theft Auto, again, great. Game stuff, cool. And then it's like the most bizarre thing to end this whole thing on. It's like, yeah, victim support. I'm like, I get what you're doing, but like if somebody closes the magazine and sees victim support, they might be like, fuck me, this thing is gonna be grim. Especially if you're like me and you read magazines from the back. I mean, I approved of all of this, so who am I to judge now? Okay, now let's go backwards. As if, you know, I was to actually go and comment on my own work in the way I would do it. From the back. Does anybody else read magazines from the back? Please tell me I'm not the only weirdo. Okay, I'm not gonna read all of this, but yeah, this is Criminal Minds, right? This is such a weak review, by the way. I read it the other day. I was like, oh fuck, I wouldn't watch this show. And why it was weak? Well, because I'm a great writer. However, this particular season that I have reviewed has added a character that I didn't like. So yeah, it had Blake, and I was like, this is just dry. Like, I don't like it. It doesn't add anything to the team. So I expressed that heavily. I was there for all of the Reed haircuts. I was heartbroken when Prentice left multiple times, and now they put some bitch Blake. Like, who is this? It's like everything good is in the last paragraph. It's like it's groundbreaking. The team of investigators like it delivers every time. It follows the formula. However, the first two paragraphs are just like, yeah, this woman is smart. This one adds something to the show. I'm like, what the fuck is gonna read this and think it's good? Also, I have no fucking clue why, but I actually added the stars that I would give the show 4 out of 5. You just put 4 out of 5. You don't put like stars I would give the show. People know what 4 out of 5 means. Genius. Now this art piece, this is golden. It's a Mary Bell. Just this intro is the highlight of my days. She killed 2 boys at the age of 11. After she was released from prison, we are left with a question. Was it nature and nurture that made this little girl kill? No, Maja, we are left with the question, is she gonna kill again? Nobody's there like, oh, they left her out of prison. Did she kill because of this? No, they debated that before. Like, I just, like, when I read this, I was like, really, like, change the intro and change the concept. But look at Mary Bell's quotes, please. Brian Howe had no mother, so he won't be missed. All that mattered was to lie well, said as an adult. I couldn't kill a bird by the neck or throat or anything. It's horrible, Dad. So British, so street. What happens if you choke someone? Do they die? It's not funny. It's like, why would you put... It's just the amount of text that I have actually written is like super small, super non-existent. So I was like, how do I fill this page? I know, let's put some of her quotes. Forever fascinated by quotes for no reason. Okay, I'm not gonna read this whole article, I'll leave it on the screen, you can always zoom in and read, whatever. One thing that I would have changed, definitely even just looking at it, I wouldn't have called somebody a prostitute, you call them sex workers, stuff that you learn after listening to like 100 podcasts. But the last paragraph of this, first of all, why did the font change? Nobody knows. Do I know? Probably not. After attaining her freedom, she never murdered again. Why? If killing was in her blood, why hasn't she slayed since her release in 1980? Hasn't she slayed? It's like vampire, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Mary Bell, you like old gangster and shit. Mary Bell's case is an example that when provided with love and respect as a person, we can recover and heal from events that marked our childhood. Too long of a sentence, but sure, girlfriend. In a family home where love and affection cannot be given, a tragedy like this one in Newcastle could repeat and haunt us again. I'm okay with the ending. However, like, what is the font change? Why the font change? I don't get it. I don't get life. I approved a lot of shit. It's like, it's my own work. I judge my own work. You don't judge it. Okay, now Jack the Ripper, yeah? So, the Magnus Opus, yeah, my Jack the Ripper case, super great. This is supposed to be a profile, but no, look at this intro. What is it gonna focus on? He wasn't the first serial killer. He killed 5 women, possibly 7. Great, so strong, super strong. You just wanna read it. It's like, how many did he kill? How many is speculative? Why is this here? What makes him stay famous for centuries? Not what made him, or what makes him stay famous for centuries. We investigate. By we, I mean me, and I mean I don't investigate, I read online, so yeah, sure. This paragraph, this is super long, and super just like all over the place. However, there's this paragraph that I just read and I just laughed, because I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna hold him in suspense. So, during the years of investigation, it was the frustration that he might strike again that kept the memory alive. Something else did after, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna keep them hanging until the last line. I'm gonna keep them hanging until the last line, until you read the next sentence, which says it was the new suspect. Like, girl, no suspense, no cliffhangers, no nothing. Then there's a whole it's like some people wrote 3 pages, not your girl. No, I had a full ass page where somebody just walking into a distance of Whitechapel. Smarts. And he just has the sickest ending of all time. I just like, yeah, let's just do something like super dramatic in the end. Because the whole thing is like, yeah, like, you know, there were these suspects, there was this investigation, but just like reach that end every time. Like, yeah, that's basically the whole Jack the Ripper case, and just speculations, be like, is it a butcher, is it whatever. The last couple of lines, it's like, I just love this so much. A man was alive for 125 years in people's minds. The Ripper will never die. So dramatic. Just imagine reading the whole ass book and then being like, he will never die. Like, this is the end. Like, this is the last line. Oh, fuck this book. I'll throw it away. Fuck this shit. And now it's time to come to the cringest of all the cringe. I have not read, as I mentioned, I have not read this in over 7 years. So let's do now. First of all, let's comment on this page, yeah? Still scrolling. Wait. This was my choice of pictures. Also, everybody else had like 1 picture to choose. Me, I'm like 3 pictures, looking ambiguous as fuck. Just like looking into the distance, I was like, this seemed like a good choice. Oh my god, remember when Twitter used to have that logo? And when Facebook used to have that logo as well? We are old. We are so old. What is this outline? Why does the address and the email not have like a space underneath them? No. I gave them my personal email, of course. If anybody wants to get in touch with my personal email. Let's do it. Okay, I'll be ready. I might cry. It's fine. Welcome to the first issue of the investigation. Okay, strong. You got a welcome. Have I read other people's editors' letters? Probably not. When I thought of creating a magazine about crime, I knew first of all I need a great team behind me. Such a teamwork. So not. What the fuck? A team which aims at you. What the fuck? I'm gonna die with this. You, who didn't know if this magazine was really about crime, but still picked it up from the shelf. How wouldn't you know if it was about a crime, the whole thing? Remember the front page? What would you think it was all about? The last page is like victim support. What else could it be about? Oh my god, I'm really so pissed. So pissed at this. For you who will spend your leisure time watching your favorite TV shows, and this magazine will be your insight into the world of criminals they were talking about. Too long of life, too long. You lost me, girl. And for you who know all serial killers on top of your head, but just want a new twist on that story famous centuries ago. Again, it's not niche, it's not focused enough. What about you who want just a current review of the crimes happening just before you board the issue? Brace yourselves, you get it all! Literally, this magazine is just not niche, it's just crime. It's just no focus. It's just everything crime related, I throw it in. In this inaugural issue, we kick off with the grim spirit of the Ripper and what the reasons that make him famed for more than a century. Have you ever taken a spine-chilling Whitechapel walk and wondered what makes a serial killer? No. Nobody can relate. They're like, yeah, serial killer here. At best, you're like, yeah, Jack the Ripper roamed these streets. You don't like, you're like, oh my god, how many more serial is this a guy, a serial killer that's going to the pub? Again, you get it all if you didn't realize by now. It's everything. It's just everything. It's what I ate for breakfast, I throw it in here. From a profile of a serial killer to a profile of a gypsy couple discriminated by other Londoners. Just feature just 2 things. I don't summarize the whole true crime magazine. All the sections tend to have one grim and one lighter story. So in foreign crime you read about human trafficking as an austere tale, and then you can immerse into a plot about hate crime against Indian women. Which one is light? What is light here? You freak! At the end, read reviews of your favorite shows, books and movies on crime. Your opinion matters to us, so let us know what you think. Contact us by either phone or email. This is such a weak. This is the weakest editors, but I have never read editors like this in my life, I can bet. How did I pass you? At Investigation Inc., we believe in the power of a good story. Flip the page and join the read. I am so done with this life. I'm so done with life. So done with life. This was a bad idea like this. This was a bad idea. That made me cringe. That made me die inside. Who was I? Why did I study journalism? Why? Okay, cool. So, yeah, as you can see, I'm using my degree in a very different way. But yeah, would you read a magazine like this that's just aimed at everybody and everything? What would you have changed from this design? Do you have your own? Did you study journalism with the second year you were like, crime? Did you do it better? Send me your copies. Well, you have my email from the screen. Clearly, apparently. Just share my personal email in it. And yeah, that's that for this Monday. Next Monday I'm actually gonna comment someone else's work because you can see how qualified I am now. Now it all makes sense. I can definitely tell you other stories from different magazines now, because this was the cringiest one of them all, okay? So until then, nothing else to tell you, nothing else to say. So this is goodbye. Bye.